Hi everybody, this is Dr. Saraswati from Department of Resource Management, Avinash Lingam Institute for Home Science. The topic of the day would be resources, its meaning, classification, characteristics, management of human resources, role of resources in management, factors affecting the use of resources, enhancing and conserving the resources. Management, in a very simple way, is defined as using what you have to get what you want. Here, what you have means that resources at your disposal, and what you want means to aim your goal, or it's actually merely your aim. So, individual goal, or it can be a family goal too. So, resources vary for individuals, communities, and states and nations. So, each one has got different goals and they are different from one another too. So, the degree to which each occurs and each one's availability also differs. When this term is used, herein resources refers to those tangible and intangible components you use to achieve your goals, objectives, and to meet the demands. So, the success of the management depends upon the recognition, allocation, and the use of resources. All resources are useful, but the usefulness of a particular resource varies from goal to goal. So, the resources are limited and the limitations can be qualitative or quantitative. Management is also defined as making use of available resources in order to achieve the goals, and resources is widely used term which is seldom defined precise. So, Malch and Deacon defined resources as the means which are available and recognized for their potential in meeting demands. They further define means as those things which have want of satisfying power and which are instrumental in reaching the desired ends. Goals are what people want. Resources are what people use to reach their goals, and the means they work with to maintain the control over their lives. Resources are the tools and talents with which people build their lifestyles and attain their goals. By definition, resources are the assets that can be used to accomplish goals. The three utilized words in this particular definition of assets, use, and goals play a very important role in the identification of resources and thereby merit closer examination. The distribution of resources determines the degree to which the family is actually striving towards a particular goal. It is easy to illustrate the use of resources in achieving certain goals. Time, money, energy, and knowledge are necessary to fulfill the goals. An individual may verbally claim that attainment of a particular goal is important to him, but only by the allocation of necessary economic resources to that particular goal and can prove his sincerity. Many are not aware of these resources. So, resources have uses. Use of resource is, however, crucial as it asserts themselves in determining the quality of life that the people can do and people can achieve. Now, it is not always what a person has, but what he or she does with it that counts more in the long run. High motivation can cause the people to exceed all prediction for success in school or at work, just as low motivation can lead many to fail or barely pass the subjects they could easily master. In discussing the utility of resources, Grosgrandel and Knoll suggest that resources are recognized as such only after uses are found for them. However, these authors also consider resources as those which are held in reserve. The present authors agree with this approach to resource, for it is within the untapped reserve of resources that a better way of life can be found by people who are willing to develop and use their resources to a fuller extent. Now, the definition of resources as asserts that can be used in goal attainment does not necessitate the use before consideration as resource. Some resources are consumed through use, others increased by use. Human resources like capability, skill, knowledge, and talents are examples of the latter. With consumable resources, there is still a question of whether to delay the use of attainment of long-term goals or to use them for short-term gratification. Resources achieve goals. Goals are the third concept inherent in the definition of resources. Goals end towards which the effort is directed: winning a track meet, learning to rope a calf, finishing a college, or getting a job. Although a goal is loosely defined as whatever is desired by the person or a group seeking it, in reality, there are restrictions on goals that are achievable with available resources. There are also restrictions on personal goals that are attainable without harming or threatening the rights of the others. Wants are usually more temporary wishes or carvings. Goals are usually more lasting and may be consciously planned and are usually more realistic than wants. They should reflect the positive wishes of all the resources utilized and who will be affected by goal attainment. Constraints: a potential resource, that is liability instead of an asset, is a constraint on the goal attainment and therefore not an operating resource. Underdeveloped resources may function as a constraint, but they need only to be consciously assessed and constructively developed to take up resources. Goals are often related to self-actualization and renewal, and they may be consciously identified or may be subconsciously held. Now, if resources are the tools and talents with which the people attain their personal or group goals, the next would be the characteristic of the resources. Most economic resources, with exception of credit, can be recognized by sight. Money, houses, cleaners, food, cars are easily identified by sight. However, since less tangible and human resources are not seen, some other way of recognizing and assessing them is needed. A list of at least 4 of their characteristics may help in the identification of the resources. The first one would be utility. In goal satisfaction, utility is one of the most undisputed characteristics of resource. It means value, worth, applicability, and productiveness for purpose. Utility is often in the eyes of the beholder and vary from person to person from time to time. The utility of the resource is determined by the user's knowledge because it depends upon his awareness of the potential that resources possess for goal satisfaction. Conscious evaluation of the utility of the resources available to each individual and to family as a unit can enhance the worth of resources possessed and can lead to a greater satisfaction from the resources held in reserve. The second one would be the accessibility, and assets must exist on hand or in reserve if they are to be considered as resources for goal attainment. Some resources require mobility to be accessible. Some demand self-discipline and conscious change of attitude to develop them, while some exist and are therefore accessible but defy measurement. Quantity and quality of others can be measured easily by existing standard. This differential measurability is due to the varied forms of resources take. Some resources, such as material possessions, can be seen and their worth have been estimated. Now, the next character would be interchangeability, and all resources are interrelated to the extent that one may be substituted or interchanged for the other in the quest of goals. Equal substitution is not a requirement of resources, for it would be impossible to equate time with money and money with knowledge. A variety of resources may be substituted for commercially manufactured products and professional services. Raw materials from which home-produced items are made must be secured within time and usually money, transportation and fuel. The quality of finished home-produced item will depend on the skill, knowledge, inclination as well as the time of the operator. The relationship between the resources varies with time, place, and especially with the age. Mundell's classes of change and work simplification may also help to explain the effect of substitution and multiple effects of resources. According to Mundell, each level of change can cause changes in the motion and consequently resources in each of the levels below. Exchange of one resources for the other entails cost and risk, and resources are interchangeable not only because they can be substituted but also because they have alternative use. Although it is possible to emphasize the use of one over a period of time, such as studying for a major examination or looking for a new job, balance of resources needed to achieve the maximum satisfaction with one's way. Time, energy, space, air and sound are resources that are interdependent, interwoven into the use of utmost of all the other resources. The ongoing nature of time and energy and the fact that it is almost impossible to utilize one without the other, at least to the interrelatedness of these resources and the relationship between them and the other sources. Manageability, the fourth character, all resources are to some degree manageable. Although they may not be completely controllable, it is possible to exert limited control over all of them. Resources manageability makes it possible to focus on the development of one's resources at a particular time, as in case of an injured athlete learning to walk again after a severe accident. So manageability of resources can make it possible to predict with some degree of accuracy the outcome of resource use. So this means that the goals may be achieved through conscious choice and application of resources in the management process. Now, factors which affect the use of resources. Among the most prominent factor affecting the use of resources are motivation, the quantity, quality and the mix of resources available, life cycle and the family composition, education and goals. So, communication within the group and customs, habits and lifestyle patterns pre-established by the group is a contributing factor. Motivation. It is a prime factor in the resource use because it is an internal attitude. The way in which the people use what they have is important in meeting and establishing a life goal. So it directs and limits the quality, quantity, the mix of resources that the person is willing to use to attain a particular goal. So it is a motivation is a result of combined forces, some of which can be recognized as resources. The next is capacity. The ability to receive, hold and absorb information and ideas is called as a capacity. Human capacity sets limits on the use of resources, but as it has been pointed out earlier in the chapter, most people's capacity so far exceed their attainment, and that a big task of management is to expose underachievers to alternatives and to motivate them to increase the output. Philosophy is closely associated with the person's standard of living, which forms the next characteristic. So it is expressed through the system of values by which people live, and it is exposed in things that the people have. Pattern of individual and group behavior, especially the pattern of resources use, focus on satisfying desire, are compositely called as one standard of living. Cole described a standard as mental, physical, written, graphic or other kind of representation of desirable quantities and qualities that is being used as a basis to compare the products or the procedure for identification or measurement of satisfaction to which the products and services are often made to conform. When standards of living are defined in terms of quantity and quality of goods and the services desired, they strongly affect the resource choice. It is because standards are attitudinal and reflect the people's life philosophy that they are such strong force in determining which resources will be used in what quantities for attainment of a specific goal. The next is the family heritage. It is an influential factor in transmitting values and establishing approved ways of satisfying wants. Heritage and subcultures limit or expand the traditional use of resources. Management patterns are influenced by the age. Time is set aside by each family member to spend with the elderly. Their management is sought and the resources are devoted to the comfort and honor. Heritage is legacy and tradition passed on from one generation to the other. Now, the next one would be resources quality, quantity and combination. Families with limited resources are forced to make careful decisions about the amount of one resource to invest into getting a particular goal. Understanding the characteristics of substitution and interchangeability of resources can help such families to attain their goals. Timing, determining how much of resource is enough to achieve the desired goal without over expenditure of resources, and deciding when to abandon goal and shift resources to a new goal are the three of the most crucial factors relating to resource allocation. Juggling the quality and the quantity of resources to be used at different times for different purposes can be learned with experience and deliberate practice. Now, classification of resources. Resources are particularly of two types, human and non-human resources. The non-human can be even material resources. This method of classification offers you the opportunity to put into two grouping those resources available for your use. It is the simplest method of classification. The human resources include the personal characteristics, attributes, that is the education, occupational status, skills, attitudes, personality trait and other personal characteristics, and also the resources that are used for productive purposes, which includes time, energy and ability and interest. Non-human or material, as the name suggests, such as house, furniture, money, community facilities, which includes park, library, government hospitals, schools and recreational facility. Non-human resources are easily identified are easily identifiable but are limited in their availability. Although resources generally included are similar, each system emphasizes a different characteristics of resources, and the resources of the source of the resources, their function, characteristics of the environment, human versus non-human association, economic elements of the resources. No single system of classification has been yet received universal endorsement by the management specialists. This diversity indicates that resource theory is still malleable and in the stage of development. So, Gross, Grandel, Knoll describe three classification of resources: human versus non-human, economic versus non-economic, and a classification based on sources in the various environment of the surrounding family. Human versus non-human. So this one, human resources are the abilities and the characteristics of individual and other sources that cannot be utilized independently of people. They identified non-human resources as those existing outside the people but controlled, utilized or possessed by the family, time, money, goods and property and community facilities. Again, Gross, Grandel and Knoll expanded the usual list of human resources to include intelligence, creativity, awareness and standing plans. To the usual list of non-human resources, they added space and power. Now, specific versus general resources classification. Liston proposed this classification with two headings: specific or general, and 8 basic type of resources involved in any managerial effort towards goal achievement. According to this system of classifying resources, space, time, natural environment, cultural environment would fall into the general category and a broadly available classification, and human resources, community opportunity, property and income during a given period of time would be considered as specific. Now again, Liston defines a resource as the properties of an object, person or circumstances that can be used as a mean to achieve goal. Time, a general resource in this classification, refers to the clock time, biological and perceived time, and the duration or sequence of time. Space, another general resource, implies social as well physical space, perceived as well measured space. Income during a given period of time and property are considered as specific resources in this system. A fresh approach to resource classification. Its unique features are simplicity, emphasis on the community opportunities, and consideration of human resource of group members and the natural and the cultural environment. Human, physical, capital resource classification. So, Rice classified the resources available to the family into this particular category. The term capital in its broader sense meant any form of asset used or available for the use in the goal attainment. According to this system, the component of human capital are technology, capacity, motivation and time. Capacity is the ability to adjust, to innovate and change. Physical capital includes the frequency and the amount of income, purchasing power, elastic income, and psychic capital is an important one because it regulates the amount of quality and the other resources required in the pursuit of satisfaction by all family members. Ecological classification of resources. The ecological approach to management and resource classification is also appropriate because of the recent experience with scarcity of the natural resources. So, because of this particular approach, environment is composed of 3 elements: social, physical and biological. Social components include social organization, economic institutions and political institutions. The physical components includes man-made object, less tangible surrounding, natural tangible surrounding, and the biological components of the environment are human, like you have physical, physiological, anatomical and behavioral and non-human. And the social linkage approach to resource classification and the social linkage approach to resource classification stresses the social orientation of the organization to which the resources belong is still another possibility and could be more useful to the process of interaction approach to management than some of the previous approaches. So, since any cooperative system is an organization, even an individual can be considered as an organization within a social linkage framework based on the classification according to who uses the resource. So, each resource classification system serves to increase the awareness of specific resource as a family's goal attainment. An efficient system would combine the best elements from each system of classification into logical, usable, electrical approach of the resources. Since each author or team of authors have predominantly refined one area, it seems profitable for the managerial resource theory to combine the elements of each theory into one mutual, exclusively broad system of resource classification. This type of system should increase awareness of a larger variety of resources available for the management. Now we also have resources which can be classified based on the family management. We have the human resources. According to this system, they are delineated into human resources, economic resources and environmental resources. The classification of human resources are again subdivided into cognitive, affective, psychomotor and temporal resources. The first three terms are common in education relating to the behavioral objectives and levels of learning. Cognitive resource, these are mental characteristics and related to knowledge acquired through practice, and they are intellectual abilities and include human characteristics as aptitude, intelligence, judgment, goal orientation and adaptability. Affective, the human traits pertaining to or resulting from the emotions and feeling rather than from the thought of reasoning and affective resources. Psychomotor, muscular activity, the mental process are combined through these resources in the development trait and skill. They combine the ability to accomplish a job with proficiency in carrying out the activity. Temporal resources, in this classification system, time is considered as human resource and refers not only as the sidereal clock time that everyone possesses in equal amount, but also to a person's characteristic methods of assimilating and perceiving the passage of time. Perceived time is highly related to the satisfaction with activity. Economic resources, according to this classification scheme, these resources include money, income, elastic income and wealth. Money income are again defined as monetary benefit to gain derived from the capital or from the labor. It includes not only the amount of gross monetary receipt to a person or a family, but also to the characteristic pattern and the frequency of flow to the family. Fringe benefits, these are the resources advantages in goods and services derived as a consequence of employment but exclude money income. A typical package of employee benefits include under this particular category. Credit, because of increased use of credits and its potential to expand the purchasing power of a large segment of population, elastic income has come into this category of its own. Wealth, the last subcategory of economic resources wealth, and it refers to the family's pattern of asset holding, not just what is on hand and at present. Environmental resources are classified either into physical or social. The physical include two types of surrounding, natural and tangible surrounding and less tangible surrounding. The former are the elements of the environment and the climate that can be perceived by the sense of touch, such as soil, terrain, etc. And non-tangible are the elements of the environment and climate and are less tangible but include those that can be measured. So some of the non-tangible surrounding can be heard and some can be seen, and when the quality has been polluted but are relatively invisible when their quality is high, such as air. To conclude, management means planning, directing, guiding, coordinating, controlling and evaluating the use of human and the material resources of the family for the purpose of attaining the maximum satisfaction. So the integration of all available resources will lead to a satisfactory path to attain the goal. The use and the abuse of different types of resources affect the efficiency of management. The quality of life is determined by the proper utilization of the resources. Thank you.